Good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday, the 1st of April. Happy April Fool's Day, if that's the right thing to say. I thought I'd just post this video today to share some thoughts with you that I've been having. This morning in our office of daily prayer, our second psalm was Psalm 124. Psalm 124 is a psalm of ascents. It's a psalm that the Jewish people would say as they climbed up to the Temple Mount, and it prepared their minds and their hearts to worship God, and it reminds them of God's goodness to them in their history, even when in their history some things had sort of promised not to be very good and to be destructive and dangerous. And so let me share with you Psalm 124 this morning. If it had not been the Lord who was on our side, let Israel now say, if it had not been the Lord who was on our side when our enemies attacked us, then they would have swallowed us up alive when their anger was kindled against us. Then the flood would have swept us away, the torrent would have gone over us, then over us would have gone the raging waters. Blessed be the Lord, who has not given us as prey to their teeth. We have escaped like a bird from the snare of the fowlers. The snare is broken, and we have escaped. Our help is in the name of the Lord, who made heaven and earth. And so I think we can hear what the Spirit is saying to the church this morning, and that is that in times of stress and in times of danger, that our hope, our Christian hope, is that God is with us and God has our care and has our future in God's hands. And so I think we can pray that at this time, sometimes really meaning it, sometimes holding on to that promise with our fingertips, but the truth still remains and God still remains with us. Now this morning I'd like to introduce you to someone who you may have met before and you may not have. And his name is Tertullian. Tertullian was a Christian from North Africa, and he lived from around about the year 160 to about the year 225. And one of the things Tertullian did was he wrote about what the church was doing at that time, and he described their acts of worship and how they behaved. And in the year 197, he wrote what is called an apology. Now, it's not an I'm a sorry kind of apology. It's an apology which means a description or a justification for what the church was doing and why they were doing it. And so in the year 197, he wrote this apology describing one aspect of what the Christian church was doing. And he said that on the monthly day, if he likes, each puts in a small donation, but only if it be his pleasure, and only if he be able. For there is no compulsion, all is voluntary. These gifts are not spent on feasts and drinking bouts and eating houses, but to support and bury poor people, to supply the wants of boys and girls destitute of means and parents, and of old persons confined now to the house, such too as have suffered shipwreck. And if there happen to be any in the mines, or banished to the islands, or shut up in prisons for nothing but their fidelity to the cause of God's church, they become the nurslings of their confession. But it is mainly the deeds of a love so noble that lead many to put a brand upon us. And that brand that Tertullian describes later is the brand of how the people around the church describe them. And he says that the brand that people say is about this church, see how they love one another. And so we are now in a time where things are a bit strange, and we are distanced, and we're trying to keep some normality going on. And one of our normalities is that we do show love for each other, not only in word but in deed. And so I encourage us all to continue to contact, to email, to phone, to think, to pray for each other. And one of our practices, I suppose, that is a real practical nature and is a weekly giving really, is that we give in our food baskets to the Auckland City Mission. Now, the Auckland City Mission on Monday released an urgent call, and they pointed out that their work still goes on, and in fact their work is growing because families are now at home And some children who are being fed at school are now no longer being fed at school, they're being fed in families. And a lot of us every week put something into our baskets to be sent to the Auckland City Mission, and the mission cannot pick those up at the moment. And so our missioner, Chris Farrelly, has sent out an urgent request. And coming up at the end of this video, I will put up a screen that has some ways in which we can continue to donate to the City Mission at this time. Now I ask us all to pray. Pray for the workers of the City Mission and for the families which they help. Please bring them, their workers, the care of the people within those houses, please bring them to God. And if we're sitting there and saying, well, if there's something more practical I could do, and if we are able, then it would be good for us to be able maybe to make just a special donation to the City Mission, following those various ways that you'll see at the end of this video. On Monday, our diocese released a prayer for us to pray, and it's a prayer for connection. And so let me pray that for us now. And then after that, I will put on the servant song. Use that song as a place for you to sit and to contemplate and to pray and to bring our own families, ourselves and those within our parish family to God's notice. And let's just be committed to spend some time with God praying for others this morning, or as often or whenever you wish to watch this video again. And so let me pray this prayer for connection. Dear God, being alone is hard. We were created for community, not for confinement. But we're grateful that no matter how alone we may feel, you never leave or forsake us. And we're grateful for technology that helps us stay in touch with each other. And so today, please remind us that this time of social distancing and isolation will not last forever. Give us the strength to endure this difficult season and to deepen our connection with you and your people. Empower us with an extra dose of your love, peace, hope and joy, because we need it. Remind us of your promises, and please heal our land. In Jesus' name, Amen. And so bless you all. My thoughts, love and prayers are with you.